we forgot our ladders. No, don't get the nest down. Just get the apples down.
Are there birds' eggs? Are there birds in it? I don't know.
Kaya, can you get them?
I see it. Got them. Right there. Look in. Hi. Look in. Is there anything to go on? Please, I can stop. 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 Hi. I'll take you. You lucky baby. Wow. And we are picking apples. And so, this is amazing.
Hey, don't break it, remember? You need to move up?
Yep, I can move.
When I'm canning or butchering, it's a really, really good idea to put something in the crock pot so that it's ready for dinner or lunch when you're ready to eat. So I'm going to cook that a little faster. Because you're canning and everybody will need to eat, and unless you have made lunch, there will be no lunch unless you're doing applesauce, and then it's really, really hard to keep your energy up unless you've had a really good meal. So crock pot it. And I put this on, I don't know what time I put it on. Mr. Dirt is cutting down a big pine tree for his dad. He got called last night to do that. So this morning he is off cutting a pine tree. That's probably him. So we're all working today. Okay, this is my $20 secondhand store pot. It is very heavy stainless steel, very heavy. The bottom is like, I don't know, three quarters of an inch thick, has a very solid bottom. It is a regular professional grade pot that my husband saw at a secondhand store, and he bought it for $20. I use it for everything. You could use it for pressure cook, or not pressure. You could use it as a steam bath. You don't have to have one of those steam bath pots. This will work just fine. It's just a big container. You would want a screen in the bottom again, and it has a good lid, so you could just do your hot pack canning in this too. So it saves on redundancy. I dip chickens in this when we butcher. I make cheese in it. I'm going to do applesauce in it now. I use it for everything because it's just such a good sturdy pot. When you're doing applesauce or fruit leather or something else that requires mashed apples, you don't need any special equipment. All you need is a big pot with a couple inches of water in the bottom, and then you pack the apples in once they're clean into your pot, and then you steam them. I have this in the bottom to keep the apples on the bottom from burning, so it just holds them up off the actual pot base, and we will show you how we do this. Okay, summer apples do not stay good. They have a very, very short shelf life. Without refrigeration, once they're picked, you've got like a couple days to get them done at most, especially if they got bruised. So don't get ahead of yourself. Especially once they're washed, they can go bad. So do one batch meaning what will fit in your dehydrator and what will fit in your pot, one batch at a time. But keep the batches moving. Spend those days that you have doing up your apples. If they start to go bad really fast, what you can do is put them in 2-quart, 1-gallon size jars and put them in your fridge. And then as you're ready to do your fruit leather. Okay, I picked these apples in 2-gallon buckets. I prefer to keep them in the 2-gallon buckets because they are smaller, they are easier for me to lift, and since I'm the one processing them, that really counts. If I didn't have them in buckets, I would very carefully sterilize my sinks, scrub everything down, including the stoppers in the bottom. I would fill one sink up with cold water and maybe a little bit of chlorine, and then as I was finished, I would have a bowl here. And as I took one apple from here, I would probably rinse it off, make sure all the actual visible dirt comes off. I'm going to let these soak for a little bit. These are summer apples, and they do have some wormholes in them, but not very many. When it comes to applesauce and everything, you're steaming them. So they're very hot. Anything that's in them is going to get killed anyway, and because it's going through an applesauce maker, you're not going to know if you're getting a bug or not. So there's bugs in food. We eat bugs all the time. To me, it's not a real big deal. So these are summer apples, red Harland, and what was the other one they said? His winter apples are sweet 16 and was it sweet 16? I think it's sweet 16 and red Harland are his winter apples, and I don't remember what his summer apples are. Darn it. Anyway, if you're really worried about what's on the surface of your apples, you can put a little chlorine in. I don't know if I'll do that with these or not. There was some bird manure on it from the trees, but not a lot, so we'll see. Okay, once you have a bowl of clean washed apples, you're going to cut them in half because it allows the steam to get through the skin faster, so it cuts down your amount of time. You could just put them in whole, and it would work, but having ruptured that skin makes it steam much, much faster.
So, this is Paige, and I'm cutting apples. We're making applesauce. The apple grinder is right here. That is for grinding something else, and the red and gray thing is for peeling it. The apples, we're making applesauce. Now I'm cutting apples. See how I banged? Now let me show you how smooth I got it. See how smooth? It doesn't show anything that was missed, and it's not lumpy and having apples. Apple kind of not in order. Instead, it's smooth and in perfect condition. And this is the bucket where the apples are coming from. Drop it in hot. Now,
Okay. Are you focused in on what we're doing? Spring goes on this. This is the new one. I had the old one that took a little bit more practice to do. The reason I didn't like the old one is because of just how much aluminum there was. And this one has more plastic. If you don't want the plastic leaching into your food, then you need to do it cold. You don't have that much reaction if it's cold. However, I do it when it's hot because I want it to go through quickly. So I do get some leaching of plastic and aluminum into our food. So there's that. I'm going to turn it so
and
it'll
you
go
twist
on.
it.
Page. Okay, so put it on, turn it. Let's see if I can get it to the right spot. Paige, please don't lean on that.
No.
I've got to take that all the way out.
Do you need help?
Turn, and then clamp this down. This just hooks into the back.
Yep. And then you keep grinding when it's fixed.
The nice thing about the newer ones is that this just snaps on instead of having to make sure that everything is perfect. This just snaps on, which is really, really nice. The other one, it was like this huge jigsaw puzzle.
Huge jigsaw. Okay, I'm handling the camera.
There we go. So it just snaps on. And then this goes in like that. Smooth this over here.
It's almost the whole thing. And there's that.
Okay, so that's
goes
ready to go.
there.
You need a big, are you focusing or looking at your sister? You need a big low container here, and you need a smaller container here to catch the pulp. I like to dehydrate the pulp for the goats for winter treats. Push stop. play with your consistency. My first batch was much, much thicker. This is just about perfect. I had to get a lot of water out of the bottom to use. And the way that you know that your apples are ready is that when you stick a fork in them, they just feel soft. They don't need to be mush to be done. They just need to be tender. And I do not put any kind of sweetener in my dried anything. I do not put honey, I don't put sugar, I don't put anything. Dried fruit is very high in sugar, which would be fructose. That's the fruit sugar. So yeah, you can give somebody a really bad case of diabetes just with dehydrated fruit leather and dehydrated fruit. So don't worry about adding sugar unless you really love sugar, I guess. But if the point of this is to have a healthier snack, don't put sugar in it.